Alright, now for tessellation, let's grab our two mesh over here and let's hold shift and bring them up high. So to better understand a tessellation method is that unlike bump offset and most of the occlusion mapping, what tessellation gives you, it gives you more polygons. So it actually creates new polygon to get the result it wants. So what I mean by this is that the light, as much as the bump offset looks good, if ever there would have to be a shadow of my bump offset uh, mesh over here, the silhouette would still be flat. It wouldn't have all the creaks and the light wouldn't travel. Now with occlusion mapping, apparently there is a way to do it, but it's quite complicated and you have to have a nice good level of understanding and the material editor to be able to do it. And with the tessellation, it's actually just a plug and play, but there's a catch. The tessellation is very expensive, and you're gonna understand right away what I mean by this, because what I mean by adding poly counts is, let's say you have your one face over here. Well, let's say you have a lot of details inside it, and instead of just showing you fake details inside, it's actually going to create the geometry. So now you're going to have all these new cubes, new triangles inside your mesh. So it's going to take a lot more GPU to calculate the mesh. Therefore, it's going to be more expensive to render and the end process for the machine of your users. So let's demonstrate this right now. So I already did one of the tessellation, but first off, let's go into wireframe just so that you see what I mean. You have over here, this is my cube, and you see it's already triangulated a little bit, but there's what? The faces are the triangles. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 8 on the left side. Alright, now let's create our tessellation. So I made a copy already of my material over here, so let's delete this one, and let's make a copy of this one over here. So now we have our bump offset that we don't need anymore because we're going to make a tessellation instead. So just delete the procedure and grab the height map. Now to be able to perform a tessellation on an object, on a material, you need to set it inside the result node. So just click on the result node and go scroll all the way down, and you're going to have tessellation over here and put it to flat surface, flat tessellation. And that's it. From there, the world displacement node is going to be activated, and the tessellation multiplier. So for the multiplier, I'm just going to put a value of 2. So just make a 1 vector by holding 1 and left click and put the value to 2. Now for the texture over here, we're going to need to multiply it. So you're going to grab a multiplier by holding M and left click, and you're going to multiply it by a 1 vector. And again, the only reason we do that is because you want to tessel. So tessel, you want to break the structure. So let's, I don't know, let's put a number between, let's say 3. Now for this case, you can put a higher number, but you're going to be able to gauge this on your own after that. Then when you have the value that you want to multiply your height map over here, you want to multiply it with the normal map. But you're not going to grab the actual normal. You're going to grab the Vertex normal WS. Now, if you want to know more about this node, I'm going to leave it in the description below. But from my understanding, what it does is it actually grabs the RGB from your texture, and then from there you can know exactly, it's like a texture coordinate, but like for normal mapping. So now from here, you're going to multiply it again with this, and then you're done. Just put this inside the world displacement, and you should see right now when it updates that you have something a little bit more real. So now we're done for this part. Let's just apply it, and we're going to go check on screen what it does. Alright, so now this is my typical mesh again. Let's grab the one on the right there. Now you're gonna grab your, remember what I said about the faces, and just put the tessellation in, and look how much you have more faces on your mesh now. So you can imagine how expensive it can get if you start putting this kind of texture all around your scene. So that's how you make tessellation, and look at the result. It looks pretty nice. Now be mindful when working with straight edges, you might get this little flaw that you have over here, and it works better on a sphere. I have a sphere over here that I already applied the material on, so let's go ahead and put our material on it, and you're going to see on a sphere it works a lot better. Now remember, my texture that I got, I made it really simply with the Materialize that you can get for free, but sometimes you have to work a little bit more on your texture to be able to make it look really nice. I'm here to give you guys the knowledge to be able to do it on your own after that. So now that you know how to make the tessellation and the bump offset, you have the tools to recreate the scene over here. So I'm going back to unlit. So this material over here that I put is just the one from the starter content. It's the what's it called? The M concrete plane that I just copied the material here and I just put it there, and you can go ahead and recreate this as you want. A little trick too is with the BSP brush, since you know it's already a flat surface, when I'm gonna add my material tesseled on it, you're gonna notice that it does this effect again, that you're gonna see this little artifact sticking out. And an easy way to correct it is by only where is it? It's by only putting, well, the light's too strong. You could grab a plane inside the mesh over here and just bring it here. I already have one over here that I did already, and just apply your material to it, and then you can just drag it to the corner like this and just stretch it out. Now to the human eye and most people that are going to play your game, they will not notice. Not a lot of people are going to stop and be like, oh, what's happening here? You could take your time and make it look as real as possible, but you're going to see it really does a nice result in the end. So hope you enjoyed this, guys. Like always, if you have any questions, leave them in the description below. If not, in the next episode, we're gonna start working on our sky over here, a nice cloudy sky, and also the directional light and the atmospheric fog.